the president of Fisk University, Dr. Henry Ponder. And of course, Dr. Ponder, you will soon be leaving Fisk University, and I would imagine that in terms of looking at that institution and some of the things that need to be done, the support that will have to be given to your predecessor, let's have you to sort of mention some of the things that you would hope that people could do for him that they've done for you.
Well, Dr. Haney, as I've said earlier, the community has been very supportive of Fisk University during my tenure. I would hope that this community continues to do that. In other words, support for Fisk University ought to be for Fisk University, not for the person who is president of Fisk University. So I would hope that you continue to support Fisk University and that my successor will continue to cultivate and try to get new sources of revenue, because you're going to have to find ways to get new sources of revenue going forward. That's the only way you can keep going. The old sources sort of dry up and you have to add to it. So I would hope that would continue. And my appeal to the community is to continue to support Fisk University and the new president, whomever he or she is, support them, give them a chance to do the job that you've given me a chance to do, encourage that person to do great things. To the alumni, I would say continue to support the president. Even if it's not the person of your choice, support him because it's good for Fisk University. To the student body, I say the same thing. Given to the faculty, I'd say the same thing. Support the president. To the trustees, hire the president, support the president, and make sure that he or she has an opportunity to do well and be successful at Fisk University, because Fisk University is more important than all of us. And I will always be a part of Fisk University and will always do anything that I can. As you said, I plan to be around in Nashville quite often in my new job. So any way that I can help Fisk University or anyone in this community, I certainly will continue to do that.
Dr. Ponder, you know, I think that going to this new position, you, in a real sense, will have to be an advocate of the United Negro College Fund. Now, what has that fund done for Fisk University since you've been the president at Fisk? Oh,
that fund has given to Fisk University over $700,000 a year. So if you just start with that, that's a tremendous thing. And the one thing that I want to do is to set up so that people will understand that there's no conflict between the College Fund, UNCF, and the National Association for Equal Opportunity in Higher Education. We're both working for the same thing. And to highlight the fact that I'm going to constantly be concerned about Fisk University, I have left in my estate $400,000 to Fisk University. So I intend to support this university long after I'm gone, and I'd like to see other alumni and others do the same kind of thing, because Fisk is worthy of it, and it is deserving of it, and it would be tremendously helpful if we could do those kinds of things for it.
You know, there seems to be a trend, Dr. Ponder, in terms of higher education, because a number of prominent persons now leaving institutions of higher education, property and financing and whatnot in their wills. I think you mentioned that when you talked to us earlier about one of your friends who left quite a bit of money in the will. Now, is that being done quite often with Fisk University, or do you feel that? Not as often as we'd like, let me say that. But we have done very well in that arena. I would say in the last few years we've gotten in the neighborhood of $4 to $5 million in that regard. And keep in mind, I say to everyone, put Fisk in your will. I know sometimes it's a subject we don't want to talk about. We have a legacy society. Join that legacy society and put Fisk in your will. And to those of you who have other institutions, let me just say to you, put those institutions in your will. Higher education needs to have that kind of support. And if I'm going to be involved in higher education, I'm going to be pushing all of higher education, not just one, but remember, my heart will always be at Fisk University. And so now, so as the president, you will be in charge of more than, oversee the operation, not especially the operation, but over the spokesperson, as you indicated earlier, of at least 100 and how many institutions? 117 institutions, historically black institutions, for the most part, and representing those institutions in Washington, D.C. That is correct. Very good. And of course, what's the structure of the organization, Dr. Ponder?
It's a very simple one. The president does the day-to-day operation, a staff of about 15 persons doing the operation, and we operate through a board of directors made up of college presidents, about 20 of those. They give us our marching orders, and then we go about doing that which is necessary. We call on presidents to to represent us before Congress, if we need someone to be a spokesperson, to come in and testify, those kinds of things. And we'll do that all the time. We take part in all the kinds of cases affecting higher education. For example, we were involved in the Fordyce case. We must do those kinds of things. All of the desegregation cases in higher education, NAFIO has had a leading role in that, and we will continue to do that.
And so now you've moved from Fisk University to a very, very pivotal spot in higher education. Dr. Ponder, as you indicated earlier, it was sort of a position that you really couldn't refuse. And of course, Dr. Ponder, let me, over this last minute, simply thank you for the information that you've given us over the last many years. We've had you on looking over the tapes not long ago on at least on 5 different occasions, and each time you've given us some excellent information, and we've been encouraged by the kind of comments that we've received in reference to it. And so we just want to thank you, and even today, we recognize that you were supposed to be somewhere else, but you were kind enough to understand that we were concerned about you coming down and sort of summing this thing up for us, and I think that you gave us an excellent summary. And I simply want to thank you for taking that time to come by and to be with us.
Well, thank you very much. You've been a friend of mine in Fisk University, and we always enjoy being on your show.
Thank you very much. And let me encourage you to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.